Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for September 5th, 2023 at City Hall Council Chambers. Notice is hereby given pursuant to the Texas Open Meetings Act, Vernon's Annotated Civil Statute, Article 6252-17, that the City of Smithville will conduct a planning and zoning meeting on September 5th, 2023 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers located at 317 Main Street, Smithville, Texas. Meeting has been called to order at 6:01. We're going to have discussion and action on the minutes from April 1st, 2023, August 1st. Thank you. August 21st, 2023. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes, I move that we approve the minutes as written.
Do I have a second? Nancy and Monica, thank you very much. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, minutes are approved as submitted. I am Caroline Noya. I am the co-chair tonight. Mr. Brian Rewe is absent. To my right is Nancy Catherman.
Oh, hi.
Monica Boss. The item on the agenda is for discussion and action on an amending plat and multiple variance requests, including lot coverage, property line setbacks, barbed wire fence use, and additional design standards for a masonry wall for the Smithville City Town Site Block 66, lots 1, 2, 3, and 4, property IDs 20120, 20123, 20126, and 20129. Property owner Sweeney Projects LLC, Logan Sweeney. Is anyone signed up to speak?
I do have Johnny Thomas signed up to speak and a Pamela Lewis Duncan.
Okay. Do you want them to speak now or after the presentation? Okay. Okay, Mr. Sweeney, are you here? Would you like to make your presentation? Then we'll have the people come and speak afterwards. Thank you.
So looking to make the 4 lots into one for covered RV and boat storage that will face into the lot. And then the red dash line you see is 10 by 10 self-storage that will face the alley. The yellow line you see is the perimeter fence, possibly chain link with barbed wire on top, typical commercial fence. Let's see. I believe it'd be 25 10 by 10 mini storages, and then I think 12 RV and boat slots that would be fenced in. Still working on the entrance. I'm looking now. I think we're going to come in off the end of 2nd Street there, where the guardrail is, and probably shorten the building a little bit just to make a safer entrance and exiting. Being that 95 and MLK are pretty busy right there.
Right up here, we have it.
I don't have the entrance drawn yet. No.
Not big show a 9-foot area.
Right. So that's where I'm looking at now, probably putting the actual driveway. So that would probably, yes, ma'am. So the 9-foot, it'd probably be, yeah, we'd probably do away with that end storage unit for room for the driveway. Right. This was just kind of a preliminary drawing.
So do I understand that people are going to have to go up Prima and over on 2nd? If they're coming in on MLK, they go up the residential street of Prima, then turn into the alley towards your entrance.
That's correct. Or the next block up, just to keep the traffic off of MLK and 95. So it's not interfering with them pulling in and out of there.
You're asking for 0 lot line on the south lot line?
Yes, that'd be on the MLK side.
And then
other side.
what's the setback? I have a hard time reading it on the north side?
It shows there to be 9 foot, but as I mentioned, I think I'm gonna end up putting the driveway there now, so I probably won't need it on that end. But just.
You won't
on,
need 9 feet on that end?
Right, because I'm putting the driveway there.
So it'll be wider.
So it'll be.
It'll be wider than 9 feet,
more
okay.
Than the 10 foot.
And so why didn't you just make the length of the building shorter rather than request the variance for a 0 lot line?
Just to get the most potential out of the lot. That gives me another 10 foot of storage and gives me room on that end to put that driveway.
Okay, and what is all the space that's not crosshatched with pink or blue?
That's just open parking lot,
So that'll all be paved.
correct?
Will the back of it be paved also? Oh, I'm sorry.
I haven't planned on that as of right now, but it potentially.
Okay.
So in reading the site design standards for C1, it says no article should be stored or displayed outside of a building unless it is screened by permanent ornamental walls, fences, or planting that it cannot be seen from adjoining streets or lots when viewed by a person standing on the ground level. So will any of the boats or RVs be visible from any point around this from adjoining lots, even the ones along the alley?
No, just from 95, you'd be able to see the front of them. They would be backed in.
So you're not meeting that design standard? Is that what you're saying? The one that says nothing shall be stored so that it's publicly visible? You mean
It's
to
just covered
read?
on 3 sides. So the front side of that blue hashed area facing 95 would be open.
Okay, so
So you would be able to.
are
see
you
the
aware of
pictures.
Article D2 that says no article or material stored ... shall be stored or displayed? And I'm assuming the RVs and boats will be stored. That's the whole
Right.
point of them. Shall be stored or displayed outside of a building. And this won't be outside purely. I imagine they're covered.
Correct.
Okay. Unless it is screened by permanent ornamental walls so that it cannot be seen from adjoining streets or lot when viewed by a person standing at street level. So all of the boats, even though they'll be undercover, all the boats and RVs will be seen by anyone who drives by or walks by.
Just from the front side, correct?
Okay.
And that's under a C2 zoning?
Yes, it is. There was also another mention about the appropriate use of C2. Buildings should be located on or near the front building line with parking in the rear. So I'm wondering why you did it the flip way.
I see it as more of a, as busy as that intersection is, that would limit sight more. If the building.
For
was on the
people
front
pulling,
side.
so for safety reasons?
Correct.
Okay, and it also says that C2 is intended for conduct of business at locations with sidewalks and an identifiable edge that relates to the pedestrian. So I don't see sidewalks on the survey. Had you planned to put any in or no, because your fence goes around the entire perimeter? But it says C2, C2.
Yeah, the plan was just to have the perimeter fence around it.
There's no existing
Right.
sidewalks.
So that, well, there isn't, but I know that this is also a longstanding contention in the community is there's no safe way to walk from the south of the tracks to north of the tracks because no sidewalks exist. So when a new development is being planned, when something new is going in, it's a perfect opportunity to require sidewalks go in and make that safe. So you're saying anybody who's walking up Gasly from south of the tracks to north of the tracks would need to walk on the street? Because you've got 0 lot line where the fence is?
Well, it wouldn't be, the fence is not all the way on the street, it's on the property line.
Okay,
So you'd still have that. The
There's quite a
utility easement that's
distance.
there
I
now.
thought
okay.
Big
So the
trees.
city
Right, there's a
easement
bunch of
there.
Trees and stuff there now,
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
and they'd be on,
But,
the fence would probably be behind the trees.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you for that.
And just as far as the sidewalks, I agree with you. It would be wonderful, but one of the other problems is people having to walk across the railroad tracks. And I know there's been, I believe the city now, are they not in discussion about
Expanding.
some with TxDOT about some things to do with that?
Part of the,
Sidewalk project. Miller Road. There's something that know more about that, but yes, they're waiting on the railroad to come back.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know about 95. You have to get.
well, yeah, there was part of the comprehensive plan about expanding 95.
Well,
They've been
that's
talking
another
about
thing,
that.
and Mr. He knows that he came to meet with us, he had an in-depth conversation with Robert Campbell, myself, and secretary. And he also knows that this is probably not gonna be the personal meeting he has to come to. But because it is a commercial development, it'll have to go through third-party reviews and other things, gave a checklist off to him. And that, 95 highway expansion, which means MLK is gonna be affected with that.
Right.
And so he's very well aware that this may, it probably is not the only meeting, but he wanted to go ahead and move forward with pre-plat and ask for variance that.
Okay. You have any questions here?
For a variance on the masonry wall,
Right.
what do you plan to put up?
We'll just be building along the alley and then chain linked fence around the front and side there. From my understanding, the center block wall is for a noise barrier, more or less, from what it reads, and there's no really need for that, for storage units, because there's no noise production. Then there's a set of railroad tracks right there. The train comes by every few minutes, so. Just don't see the need for the cost of putting that in.
So you're talking about where the yellow line is for the masonry
That would be
walls
the chain link fence,
instead of the masonry wall.
correct?
Okay, and then property line setbacks. Where did you want the setbacks? You said property line setbacks.
Just the one along MLK. To put a
A zero lot
lot
line there.
Will that be just regular chain link, 6 foot higher? Or what are we talking about?
That's the plan as of right now. yes.
So what was that about barbed wire though?
Potential barbed wire on top, like a 3-strand for security purposes.
Okay, and then the replat, you just want the 4 lots put into one.
Correct.
Okay.
No, we still have public comment to hear, but when it comes time to go through these, would it be possible to break them up and do them individually as we've done in the past? Because this is a whole lot to approve or deny at once.
Okay, so we can do that now. Hold on, I'm happy to have you do that. Yes, go ahead, go ahead. Oh, no, yeah, right. But I thought you wanted to discuss these first. Okay, Garrett, did you have any questions on the, on what he's got written here? Okay. And then the variance get the building dimensions needed. Okay, and then you don't have any other questions?
No, I don't, I just have it. Thank you. I just, there's just some things that concern me, like the width of the alley.
They have to have a combination of 30 feet between the 20-foot alley and a 10-foot setback. He needs that.
It does. Well, in looking at the alley, it doesn't look
I
like.
guess 20 feet.
Get it, but that was one of the things on the checklist was that it has to have a 30 feet combination of the alley. And
Okay. And then the city will take care of the alley,
the
alley
alley.
part.
Because it looks like there's some vegetation there that would comes into the 20-foot space. That's why we're asking. Okay.
Tracy, do you know where it's at with the barbed wire, where we can read that?
right off the top of my head, no, sir. I mean, I can search it up, but if you go on the E code and put in the bar, it'll bring it up where it's not allowed to be used. And that's why.
Would you mind stepping up and filling us in on that? Because I missed finding that as well.
Right,
Mhm.
lot coverage.
Because I bet you know all this. Boom, boom, boom.
It's taken some time to memorize it. It's under chapter 14 towards the end, under fences and walls. And it says what the fences are to be made out of and what they're not to be made out of.
Do you recall the rule?
The rule is in like, yeah, it says no barbed wire.
It says no barbed wire.
barbed wire.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. Okay, no more questions up here then?
Well, actually, I did have one more question. What is the proposed lot
Lot
coverage and
coverage.
how does that compare to the lot coverage standard or maximum?
I believe I'm right at 40% now. And I'll be under that once I do away with those end units for the driveway.
Mhm.
And I think the maximum is 40%.
Okay,
It is 40% coverage, right?
so we can eliminate that one.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, is that it for y'all? Any questions? More questions?
I have no more questions at the moment.
Okay, you want to call for public?
Evening. How are you all doing? One of my concerns about that project, as you all was saying, that they're supposed to widen out 95.
Mhm.
Also, they're supposed to put a sidewalk from the high school all the way down to the resurrection.
What?
A
Sidewalk.
sidewalk.
Oh, sidewalk.
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, supposed to put a sidewalk there. And also, this is right in a residential neighborhood. There's some individuals just invested on Primo Street in some houses right there. And then now, and also we have kids, young kids walking from the high school all the way back across the track that live in here, and they be walking. And then you have them coming down Martin Luther King. Well, this is the route that they have to take. Now they're gonna be pushed all the way in the street. And this is what's gonna happen with that. And then also, we'll have this, I guess it used to be a church right there on the corner with the murals and everything. Well,
Mhm, mhm.
this is gonna be interfering with that. You know, it's gonna change the decor of the neighborhood, putting up that right there. And I'm looking right at it every day, and I have to pass by it every day. And also right now, I have to get over for kids because, you know, they're gonna walk, ain't paying no attention. But now they're gonna be pushed into 95. And once they widen 95 out, because this is a project that TechStop been working on for the last 2 or 3 years.
Please speak into the microphone so people can hear you. Sorry.
TechStop been working on for the last 2 or 3 years. And they're gonna be working on 95. And well, the Duncans live right across the street from there, right across Martin Luther King. And to change our neighborhood like that, and then put up a barbed wire fence, we're already trying to get businesses over there. And then to have it turn into a military fence around the property, and then also storage buildings right in a residential area. Sure, there are places for storage buildings, but you don't disrupt the whole neighborhood. Sure, it's commercial property, but then it should be a law of what be put there. You just can't go and put anything in an area where it's a residential area. Sure, it's commercial, but I don't think anyone, even Rich, he wouldn't want that next to his house. I know I don't want to come out looking at it. Every morning, every evening, I got to open up my door.
Mhm.
Have I went past my
I
time?
think that has,
It's about- yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta go back.
Huh?
okay,
Keep going.
keep
Yeah.
going. You still have time. Go ahead.
Well, y'all cut me off for 10 seconds, so I got a little bit more time.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can do that.
So I want all of it.
Okay,
The point of it is that it's gonna cause so much disruption in that area. And is it worth it for $1 to have kids, young kids walking out on 95 coming from the high school, coming home? Is it worth it? One of them getting run over? Because they're not gonna be paying attention because I want to make money. No, it's not worth it. One person losing their life because of that is not right. And I'm strictly for business. I can understand, but the location is
Mhm.
the problem. And we have to understand, we have to be vigilant of the young kids. I'll sit down.
thank you. Okay. Is it next?
I
No.
have, Emma and Duncan. I'm gonna say both,
Me-
but okay.
May I interrupt just for a second?
Mhm.
In answer to Johnny Ray's. I understand your concern. However, what has been a concern of me in the many years I've been on planning and zoning is the number of RVs that are next to the homes. So I kind of like the idea of having another place where somebody can take it. And this is commercial. It is a highway. And so it's eligible for that. I understand your concerns. And I'm going to sound very, very nasty right now, but
To who?
children have to take responsibility for themselves, particularly if they're in high school.
But we
And-
also have Brown Primary there, and those kids are not in high school.
No, but having seen, now I haven't seen since school started, but usually there's quite a long line of cars waiting to do pickups at Brown. I understand concerns, but the highway's still going to be there, even if this is not
Okay.
approved.
I
It's
can
still going to
understand
be
that.
there and there's still going to be kids
The
walking.
property is still gonna be there, but you
Pardon?
have the option of what you're gonna put there. You have
Well,
an
you do,
option.
yes.
Yeah,
Anything
yeah,
that's
you
under
have
what
an
C2.
option. You have an option of what you're gonna put there.
And
And the
that's what
way
I'm
to make
just,
it presentable for the neighbors and for the area, you just don't put up something just because it's commercial.
I understand your point. I'm just pointing out to you what the zoning is for it.
Strictly
and-
understandable that it's commercial. I understand that it's commercial.
I would personally like to see RVs in I'm not saying this place, but someplace other than blocking homes. They have to sit, I believe, back of the front part of the house, an RV has to be,
What's that got to
back
do with the
to
price
the
of the
side.
eggs?
pardon,
Huh?
what?
What's that got to do with the price of the eggs of putting them, because?
It
of
has to
something-
do with,
No. I like
Would-
this, but, but the point of it is. no,
there's
turn
no
it off.
use in going on anymore.
You can turn it, okay, you can turn it off, but
think-
the point of it is, okay,
I know the
You-
point. You've gotten it across to me. Johnny Ray, you've known me for a long time.
we've been knowing each other
And-
for a long
and
time.
you know-
And the point
I
of
know
it
you're
is,
not stupid and you know I'm not stupid.
right, we don't take stupid pills. I don't take them either. But the point of it is that you still have to, you made a hideous statement that
No, I didn't make.
yes,
it.
you did. When you say a kid don't matter,
No, I
No.
didn't say that.
you did say.
Excuse me, if I said that, children of course do matter, but I said, children.
You said they're high school and it don't make any difference. They shouldn't be walking and you know
I-
how kids are. Yes, she said it. Run the tape.
I
Okay,
said.
Run the tape.
So to
High school
Okay.
children.
calm everybody down real quick, please, but we're, and just so everybody knows, we're not here to decide tonight what's put on that property. That's not our choice. There's rules that are put in place for the zoning that it is, right? If a person doesn't really care for those, get involved with the city and try to get those changed to where it doesn't happen, right? But we're not here for that. We're here, one, about a replat.
replat,
We're here about the fence. We're here about
setbacks
setbacks
and coverage.
and coverage. That's what we're here to work on tonight.
Okay,
That kids don't matter. They should feel it.
Well, you missed,
When they're in high school, they shouldn't walk in the street and they don't matter. Any kid is worth any life, whether it's a kid or anyone else, their life means something.
Johnny Ray misunderstood me. And,
okay, that's enough.
and
Y'all,
I would
that's enough.
suggest, if I did, if you heard it that way, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to fight with you. This conversation is over. We have
Yes,
work to
we-
do.
Yeah,
And we have people that would probably like
okay,
to
the
get
next
home.
speaker, please. Okay, next.
Well,
speaker.
you, please, it's,
Shh, Nancy, that's enough. Next speaker, please. No, hi. Please give your name and address, please, when you speak. Sorry, yeah.
Do I need to push a button?
No, the light's on, the
okay.
light's on you, good.
All right. I live,
What is your name and please?
oh,
and-
I'm Pamela Duncan. My home is is right across the street from where you want to put these storage buildings. I'm right across the street from there. And my thing is when, or if this happens, I guess where these RVs you want to be able to put there, they will, if you're going to have this area
Speak
and
in the
it's
microphone, speak in the microphone.
to put them in the back of the storage buildings or whatever, well, they're not going to be able to turn in to the back of there. They're going to have to be able to go from my yard into that storage where you want to have them. They're gonna have to turn into there, aren't they, or no? Mhm. Well, because the alley is so far wide. Okay, and so unless you get a lot, well, a lot more area, more space or whatever, in order to get them turned into the area that you want, they're gonna have to seem like more area in order to turn them into the area that you want. No? I mean, do y'all kind of see what I'm talking about or no?
The understanding that I had from the
These
gentleman that
be-
spoke earlier was that they'll come in off of 95 Gaisley to
MLK.
MLK and then
Yeah,
go
I'm
to the
right there
next,
on Gasly and MLK.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
right there.
and then go to the next block down and the
That's
entrance will act,
Prima,
that
Prima,
entrance will
whatever.
actually be in the north
That'll be
corner.
on that,
Mhm.
in that alley, cause that'll be my alley, and then across the street is the other alley. And so those alleys is not that big. So that's why I'm saying, wouldn't they have to be able to turn from the road of MLK in order to go into both storage. You know, if you want to put a trailer, I mean, you know, RV
Mhm.
into there, you would need that road, the MLK road, the street. Well, in order to have that, the space in order to do that, you would need to use my road, well, my space in order to get those in there is my concern.
Mhm.
Because if you have a truck, you pulling them, you got to have that space. Unless he's gonna bring those in order to have that area, in order to have the storage building plus RVs there. It doesn't seem like that would be adequate enough
Because your
space.
house is right here, is it not?
Yes, ma'am, I'm right at the corner of MLK and
Yeah.
Gasly.
And
You're talking about pulling in through the alley.
If he gonna have them, you know, the RVs going through the alley, how by being in the alley to turn them in there, what space is
They're
he
gonna have to
planning
get-
to have?
come into your, yeah.
They're going to,
Speak up to the.
well, see, the guardrail is a dead spot.
You're coming, to come in through a residential area, to come in through a
Yeah, he's
residential area
gonna-
to go on
It's
to.
gonna be going to Primer,
Mhm.
but at Primer,
So it'd be
you
a
go
residential
around
area.
that circle into the alley.
Mhm.
Okay, that's still a narrow because there's two homes
Mhm.
that sits right there. Okay,
Mhm.
he's still going to have all that extra space because it's a guardrail
Hurting area.
and all that. Howard, in order to say, okay, this is my space right here. How am I gonna get my RV right here? There is no way. You're gonna have to come from here in order to get it here, to sit it right here.
Mhm.
So therefore, you're gonna use my yard in order to go up the alley in order to get my RV right here, not this away to get my RV that sits right here in this spot. Because it's a guardrail right here. And then unless he gets, well, the alley's here. If my RV sits right here, how is he gonna get that RV if he's coming down?
Okay. Thank you. Lisa, did you want to say something? Yes. Yes.
Okay, if you could answer for me. From your fence to where your RV parking, your covered RV parking, I don't see a measurement. How much space do you have there?
You got to talk right into it.
Mike,
The,
please.
65 feet.
65 feet? Okay,
I believe
well,
off the side, it shows you
and
125. And then it's a 40
okay,
foot.
okay. But what she's saying, how do you plan to get traffic that either comes around or goes this way through the alley? You don't have, you've got storage units on this side, they're gonna be closed.
Correct.
So you're gonna have people wanting to back RVs and boats into these slots. And the most practical, which is what she's saying, would be to come in off Martin Luther King and then back
Geneva.
into your spaces.
So we would enter off Second Street off the northeast corner there.
So you're saying you have to go through the residential area to come into the back of the property.
Correct.
Well, and that's
then
what I'm
pull
trying,
into that front open area that isn't hashed. That would be a
Mhm.
parking lot where you pull in and get straightened up to back into the RV slot.
because the way you have it, it's. You don't, it doesn't show much of a space there where you would have traffic coming through.
Right, that's something that's gonna be changed once I go to the engineer.
Okay, gotcha. I just wanted to clarify that part.
Isn't that something that we just talked about earlier, that you would do away with at least that one?
Correct, to get enough room
To
for a
get it.
driveway.
Into the driveway to the
That
back
way they're
end.
not coming in off of
Oh.
Gasly or Martin Luther King,
Yeah, like that last one up
Correct.
there.
just for traffic purposes.
Okay.
So you're intending for the people who have their RV stored there to come through, to use the alley and not MLK and the Prima Street,
Correct, I think that'd be the safest route.
through the alley, strictly through the alley.
Right.
Okay, anything, anybody else have anything?
The zoning ordinances are explicitly silent on this issue on RV storage and boat storage. And I am wondering if this business would be more appropriately classified as C3 highway commercial, since it is automotive related. And C3 is the automotive category. Because the whole point of part of the business is bringing autos in and out and in and out and in and out. And the autos will be, the RVs and boats will be visible despite the designs, the site design standards noted for C2. Has that been something,
The chain link.
Tracy, that you and Robert discussed at all? Well, maybe ask that you kick that back for consideration. It's C2, it's not C3. C3 is, there is some
Yeah.
C3
Yeah.
further down Gasly. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Would the chain link fence not suffice as a screen? Or,
No, the whole
No.
point in the design, the site design standards is that you can't see it when a person is standing on the street. And that's all.
Eric, you have anything? Okay. Are you looking at something, Nancy? You want to move on? No? Yes, yes, please. Well, we'll take them individually.
I move to approve the replat of the 4 lots at 207 Gaisley Street. That'd be the first item. So to make the 4 lots into one, I move that we approve that.
All those in favor? For the replat from 4 lots into 1? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? No, no. Okay. Next item would be for the multiple variance request for the lot coverage. He's opted out because that's about 40% still, so that's okay. So that's a non-issue. The property line setback at a 0 lot line.
I move to deny the requested variance to change the lot line from to a 0-foot setback, because the variance will be contrary to the public interest. They're not special conditions affecting the applicant's property. Even with any special conditions, literal enforcement of the ordinance does not result in unnecessary hardship. The variance does not observe the spirit of the ordinance, and substantial justice will not be done by granting the 0 lot line variance.
Have a second?
I second.
All those in favor of denying the 0 lot line setback, say aye.
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 Nay.
Opposed, nay. Okay. So that passes.
I move to deny the requested variance to eliminate a masonry wall. The variance will be contrary to the public interest. There are not special conditions affecting the applicant's property, even with special conditions. Literal enforcement of the ordinance does not result in a necessary hardship. The variance does not observe the spirit of the ordinance, and substantial justice will not be done by granting the variance.
You said to deny that one, is that what you said? Deny that one.
The elimination of the masonry wall.
Okay. Have a second? Hearing no second. Motion fails. Do I have another motion? So hearing no.
I move to approve the variance of not having a masonry wall. The variance will not be contrary to public interest. There are special conditions affecting the property. And because of the special conditions, little enforcement of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship. The variance observes the spirit of the ordinance, and substantial justice is done by granting it. More on my reasoning of that is, with the chain link fence, you can still see through it. And it would, and where I say the special is, it would help with visibility of pulling on and off the highway there versus a brick wall that's right there at the property line.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 3-1, motion carries.
Is there a request for a variance on barbed wire or not?
On the top of the chain link fence.
So it'd be 6.
How does that work since it wasn't submitted on that original application?
In the note. May not on his application. It is in the note.
Okay.
Okay, not to sound like a broken record, but I move to deny the requested variance to place barbed wire above the 6-foot chain link fence because the variance will be contrary to the public interest. There are not special conditions affecting the applicant's property. Even with the special conditions, literal enforcement of the ordinance does not result in unnecessary hardship. The variance does not observe the spirit of the ordinance. Substantial justice will not be done by granting the variance. I do not believe barbed wire is safe in this location if we're discussing reasoning.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tracy, you got those votes? Correct. Okay, is that all I have? That's all I have for here. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make the motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second? All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you. Thank you all for coming.